Let's look at our expenses, so any external costs, and let's look at labor, so how much time we spent executing on maintenance activities. Let's look at it directly from a work order view. Back to our multiple places to get multiple locations to get to the same place. I could click on work orders right up top. I could click on my work orders tile. I could click on my hamburger menu to get to work orders, or I can click on my magnifying glass and type work orders. Multiple ways to get to it. I always use the magnifying glass. I'm a little bit old school. I use my keyboard quite a bit to navigate around the system. Let's look at a weekly inspection, and let's look at the items, expenses, and labor that are on it. Let's talk a little bit about the financial treatment that's on them. So this is work order 9. It's a weekly inspection for our primary crusher asset. And this is a work order that's currently open. It has a plan date, original plan date on the 7th, so I can already see that we're behind. We're behind on executing on this work order. It also tells us a little bit more information. The frequency type is calendar. It tells us the frequency description. It's reoccurring daily, starting on the 6th of March. But what I'm really interested in is the financial pieces. So if I scroll down to the bottom, I can see my resources, I can see my items, and I can see my expenses. These are the 3 things that have a financial impact outside of the fixed asset linkage. So on my resources, you'd see I've got myself, but you could have multiple resources that are on a work order. Let's say I've done some work, but Catherine Hull is going to do some work as well. I can add Catherine. And I can say that Catherine is actually going to do some instrumentation work on it. And I'm going to give 2 hours to do that. The reason why I set it up that way is that you can have financial dimensions by resource. So let's say you have resources that are in different departments that are working on the same asset. You can assign dimensions by resources. In this case, it's Andy is in the maintenance department. So his dimension is actually the maintenance department, which happens to be 2110 in our system. But if I had Catherine that was added, and let's say she's from a different department, so I want to account that maybe she's from the safety department, I could adjust Catherine's dimensions if it's different than what's on her resource card. So let's say Catherine's time needs to be booked to a specific area. So let's say we want Catherine is actually out of the European office, and we're going to account for it in the European budget. We could switch Catherine's dimension to Europe. So you could have multiple resources with different financial dimensions. Items are the same way. Items inherit their dimensions from an item card in the system. But let's say we want to adjust the dimensions of those items before we consume them. We can adjust those dimensions if we need to. The example that I always like to use is, let's say we have a project and we want to allocate the items that we're consuming to a specific project. We can assign a project dimension so that the value posting goes to the same general ledger account, but how we report on that says this asset was consumed under a specific project. So we have the ability to adjust dimensions by resources, by items, and by expenses. So the last item is our external. So these are things that we have to do externally to maintain our assets. We could adjust the dimensions on that as well. Let's say we wanted this to go to a specific project dimension. The reason why I bring this up is that the system has an incredible amount of flexibility of how you want to view costs, how you want to allocate costs, and how you want to report on costs. So there's flexibility in all 3 financial areas, items, expenses, and resources, that you can adjust the individual dimensions based on your accounting treatment. So that's very valuable to our customers, especially as they want to allocate cost to different departments. Let's say everything is set up to go to a maintenance GL, and at the end of the month, you find that you want to allocate those costs a little bit differently. You can actually do that by adjusting the dimensions on resources, items, or expenses directly on work orders. Now, I will say a standard process for some of our customers is for the maintenance department to plan, schedule, execute, and close the work order. And some of our customers would have the accounting department that actually checks the financial treatment before we post and close it. And let me talk about closing versus posting. When you close a work order, it's just setting the status to close. When you post a work order, you're making the financial entry into the system. So you're committing that record to become immutable. So once you've made a general ledger entry, you can make a counter entry, but I can't go back and change that entry. So some of our customers want a maintenance accounting analyst to actually make the final posting and only maintenance to close it. However, the majority of our customers do posting and closing all in one because we've set up all of our financial treatment from the very beginning. We've set up all of our financial dimensions from the very beginning. We've set up our GL codes correctly on all of our items so that when we post close, it's in real time. The other benefit of that is if we're posting and closing as work is done, we don't wait till the end of the month to figure out all the stuff that's left on work orders that we need to be closed in order to do our financial close, month end, and reporting. So if we're posting and closing in real time, those entries are being made in real time. One of the things that differentiates our customers that do it with accounting does the posting versus our customers where maintenance does the posting and closing is just trust. If we trust that the system is set up correctly and we trust that we're executing work correctly, we trust that all the information is correct in a work order, we post and close that, and then finance goes, yep, we're happy with all these entries, it's good. If there's not a high level of trust, this is where we get into more segregation of authority. We don't want the maintenance people to make any financial entries. But I'm saying that 75% of our customers on the maintenance side do the post and close on the work orders as work orders are being executed. That's also very helpful because it keeps your inventory in line. So if I have a whole bunch of work orders that are open with a whole bunch of inventory items on them, it's going to be very difficult for us to close our month end when we have a whole bunch of costs that are sitting on work orders that don't have the associated general ledger entries made for them yet. So lots of flexibility. System is very powerful to be able to give you that financial view all the way from budgeting, all the way through fixed assets, all the way through our ledger entries for visibility, being able to take that into an Excel spreadsheet and look at it, and then directly to the work order, be able to see items, expenses, be able to see labor directly with the detail, adjust those dimensions if we need to adjust those dimensions, update any financial treatment that we need, and be able to report on everything from a single pane of glass. The other thing I want to say about the finance side of it, and just all the stuff that we have built into finance, it's not hard to set up. Once you have your general ledger set up, once you have your posting group set up, this is easy. This is not a multi-year journey. This is something that you typically do when you're initiating your ERP project. So you've likely got your general ledger that's already set up already. Linking to fixed assets can be done in a couple of hours. Setting up financial dimensions for all of your assets can be done in a few hours. Making sure that your resources have the proper dimensions on them can be done in a couple of hours. So it's not a long-term thing where I know with other systems, they would be talking about, we'll do that in a phase 2 or a phase 3. Kogo does this up front so that we're getting the immediate value and the immediate benefit for our maintenance and our accounting teams being able to see right now, where are we at from a financial perspective? Where are we at on budget? Where are we at with our individual labor items, our individual resource items, or our individual item costs? So lots of flexibility, incredible amount of power. And I'm super happy because having that all within one system that's highly functional, where we can do a lot of editing in Excel if we need to, where we're maintaining the stability of the system, stability of auditability of everything within a single platform is very, very valuable for all of our customers. I hope you enjoyed the finance section of the enterprise asset management overview.